trial has resumed for the day in the Manhattan District's um, election interference, business fraud, a hush money case. And just a little bit I've seen so far does not look good for Donald Trump. And every day is going to keep looking worse and worse. You might remember, I didn't talk about it, but you've probably seen some coverage of it. Yesterday, Donald Trump was surprised that there was going to be 2 to 3 weeks more of testimony. Well, and that was just the prosecution side. He thought they were almost done. Well, he hoped they were almost done because today's witness is one he never wanted to see on the stand, and that is Stormy Daniels. The day has started off with this Sally Franklin on the stand. She was only on the stand for like 45 minutes. Um, and there were quotes and excerpts from his two books that she was testifying to. She worked as like a senior vice president for the publishing company that helped him get these books made. Um, and her testimony was pretty bad because one of the quotes that they talked about was how Donald Trump liked to sign as many of his checks as possible himself and why. About being in on the details of the business and things like that. And his quotes painted him as a micromanager who had his hands into everything that was Trump organization related. Well, that is going to really wreck the narrative that Donald Trump would like to say that, it was just employees going rogue and doing their own thing. Well, if he signed the checks to pay back Michael Cohen, he's not going to sign 35,000 checks and not question what's going on. Not at least not the way he's portrayed in these quotes from the book that, was his book. Yes, he had help of a ghostwriter, but it was his book. Um, and now you've got Stormy Daniels on the stand talking about how, she met him and how, how they had sex and things like that. Like, this is going to be very embarrassing for Donald Trump. Um, there's one little little blurb I saw where she said one of the first times she was asked to dinner by Donald Trump, she refused. And I'm sure that jabbed at his ego something fierce. Um, the whole time she's on the stand, this is going to be one of the most uh, damaging to his ego witnesses that's going to be on the stand. He can't take a lot of criticism, but he can, in his mind, justify some of this stuff and shush it away or whatever so it doesn't jab at his ego. When she's testifying about how she rejected him, for dinner and things like that, and how much older than he was at the time, referring to him as being older than her dad, who was over 60 at the time. He doesn't like being reminded of his age. In his mind, he's still a young man. Just it is going to be very hard. I expect Donald Trump to, during one of the breaks, or maybe even during court or after court today, to violate the gag order and lash out at Stormy Daniels on social media in some way, shape, or form. I fully expect it. Today's going to be a bad day for him. But she's currently on the stand right now. She has been told to slow down her testimony several times because she is talking too fast for the court reporter to keep up. But anyway, Stormy's on the stand. It's going to be an interesting day.